and welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And if you're just joining us, we have some history in the making tonight. Right now we are joined by Connor. He has $500,000 and he's going for $1 million. Connor, are you ready? I'm about as ready as I can be. Here is the $1 million question. Who is the greatest MLB player of all time? A. David Fletcher. B. David Fletcher. C. David Fletcher. Or D. David Fletcher. Can I use a lifeline? All jokes aside, Angels infielder David Fletcher has become a bit of a phenomenon as of late. In the past few months, he's gone from journeyman middle infielder to certified meme legend, largely thanks to an army of Angels fan accounts on Twitter. And as a result, he's gained a ton of attention and a ton of new fans in 2020, both ironically and unironically. But here's the thing. If you strip back the memes and the jokes and the weird photo edits, David Fletcher has quietly built himself into one of the most underrated players in Major League Baseball today, and a huge asset to the Angels roster in multiple ways. So today, I want to talk a little bit about David Fletcher, the man, the meme, the legend, and why we should be putting a little bit more respect on his game on the field. But before we get into that, be sure to like this video and subscribe down below if you're new. It really helps us grow the channel. Also, if you're in the mood for more baseball content, we post new videos every Monday and Thursday. You can use the links in the description below to browse all of our videos, or you can click this link in the upper right hand corner to check out our latest upload. But for right now, let's get into it.
Draft this right around the corner. That's a fair ball. Fletcher has to hurry. Throws out the speedy Buxton. What a play by David Fletcher. One down.
If there was one thing that David Fletcher was known for before his meme status, it was definitely his glove. And frankly, it's kind of hard not to notice it when he's pulling off plays like this, and like this, and like this, seemingly every single night. And it's not just that his defense passes the eye test, the stats also back him up as well. In 2019, according to Fangraphs, he was worth 13.6 defensive runs above average, which was good enough for 9th in all of baseball in that regard. And according to Baseball Reference, he was worth 2.2 wins above replacement on defense, which was good enough for 8th in that metric. But even beyond those baseline defensive statistics, there are 3 things that we need to understand about Fletcher that make him an even bigger asset on the defensive side of the ball. The first being that he is getting to play alongside arguably the greatest defensive infielder of our generation, Andrelton Simmons. By the way, if you haven't watched Foolish Baseball's video on Andrelton Simmons, I highly recommend you go check that out. But for our purposes, what you need to know is that if you're an infielder coming up in the game and you want to learn how to be a defensive juggernaut, there is no better player to learn from than from Simba himself. And there's no doubt in my mind that some of Simba's lessons have rubbed off on him, especially with the amazing plays he's been able to pull off in 2019 and 2020. Another thing that helps Fletcher is his hustle and his speed. While he might not be able to get down the baselines like Byron Buxton or Tim LeCastro, he still has an above average sprint speed according to StatCast, which allows him to have a much greater range as a defender and get to more baseballs that most defenders won't be able to get to, which is obviously a huge asset to have as a defensive player. But what truly makes Fletcher a secret weapon is his versatility. Not only can he play second base, the position he's known for, but he can also play third base, shortstop, and corner outfield spots at an above average level. With MLB teams keeping fewer and fewer position players on their rosters in recent years, it has become even more valuable to have a player like Fletcher, who can not only play every day, but also play multiple positions very well. Because as a manager, it gives you so much flexibility in managing your roster, managing the workload of your position players, and giving you so much flexibility within your lineup, and knowing that you're still going to have a good defensive team out on the field. All of these factors and more make Fletcher a huge defensive asset for the Angels organization.
Base hit through the left side. Goodwin will score. Being waved around as La Stella. Wade's throw to the plate is not in time. 2 RBI single for David Fletcher.
Now, on the offensive side of the ball, we do have to acknowledge some things that David Fletcher will not do. For example, he's not going to hit the ball very hard. His exit velocity is not going to be all that high, and as a result, he's not going to hit a whole lot of home runs. But what he does do, and does extremely well, is make contact and hit them where they ain't. For one thing, he just flat out refuses to strike out. Even though his hard hit rate is usually among the bottom of the MLB leaderboards, he is usually among the best in baseball at avoiding the strikeout. Again, going back to 2019, he posted the second lowest strikeout rate of all qualified hitters in Major League Baseball, and him and Anser Alberto were the only 2 qualified hitters to post a K rate lower than 10%. Normally, when you make as much soft and medium contact as Fletcher does, it typically reflects poorly in your offensive statistics, mainly because the more soft contact you make, the easier it is for big league defenders to get to your hits. But with Fletcher, this doesn't seem to be the case. Again, going back to 2019, not only did he post a .290 batting average, but his expected batting average was even higher, meaning that all of those hits didn't come just as a result of luck. The reason for this is that Fletcher has seemingly mastered a skill that is very rare among MLB hitters in 2020. The ability to place your hits exactly where you want them to. Not only is Fletcher very effective at spraying the ball all around the field, but he also knows exactly what holes to hit in the defense to try and exploit their weaknesses. And in 2020, it seems as though he's only gotten better at using this skill to place the ball into the gaps and use his speed to leg out extra base hits. A strategy that has led to a considerable increase in his slugging percentage in the young 2020 season, and something that we could see more of in his game going forward. If he remains just an average producer at the plate like he was in 2019, he'll still be a valuable addition to the lineup, as he produced over 3 runs above replacement in the last season. But in the 2020 season so far, he is currently producing at a rate that is nearly 30% higher than the average MLB player, something that could be attributed to small sample sizes, but if it continues and his offense keeps getting better, it could potentially push his game to the next level and beyond. Which brings me to the last point that I want to make in this video.
Back toward the middle, Fletcher to his right. Nice play with a glove. Flyers over to second base, and they got him. That is about as good as a double play.
At the end of the day, not only is David Fletcher a 4-tool player that can play 5 different positions, all while being one of the best contact hitters and defenders in the game today, but he's also only 26 years old. This is only his second full season in the major leagues, if you can call this a full season, and frankly, I still think he's not done growing. Given the upward trajectory of his career to this point, I feel like if he continues to produce the way he has been, the sky is the limit for this kid. Provided he stays healthy, I could easily see him following in the footsteps of his teammate Andrelton Simmons, becoming an infield staple that can easily get you 4 to 5 wins above replacement every single season. And I, for one, am extremely excited to watch him continue to grow over the next few years. But now, I pass things off to you. What do you think of David Fletcher? And what do you think his ceiling ultimately is? Let me know in the comments section down below. Anyway, all, that's going to do it for this edition of the baseball vlog. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to like this video and subscribe down below if you're new. It really helps us grow the channel. Also, if you're in the mood for more baseball content, be sure to check out all of our videos down below and visit us on our website, readthediamond.com, for all your news, commentary, and analysis to get you through this weird 2020 season. And finally, if you want to stay up to date with everything that we do and whenever we post new videos, be sure to follow us on our social media pages at The Diamond US on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. A new episode of Around the Horn is coming on Monday, but until then, I hope you have a great weekend out there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.